Harley Quinn Season 4 Episode 4 is currently available on HBO Max. This time around in this episode called Business Conference Without Chlamydia, which is basically the short version of the title, I'm not going to say the long one, Ivy attends a conference on the moon, going there on a dick spaceship, which is one of the funniest things this show actually has ever done, which goes to show just how low my bar of humor really is. All while the Bat family rents out Wayne Manor to Scandinavian tourists who plan to rob the place just because they want to. And the reason this happens is because Talia al Ghul is not funding Wayne Enterprises and is taking all the Bat family's gadgets, so they have to learn how to fight and work as a Bat team without the luxury that Bruce Wayne gave them with all the expensive equipment they had. And it actually leads to Harley Quinn sort of becoming a mentor type figure to our characters here, which I really like. I think this is a really cool idea of bringing Harley Quinn into the forefront of this team and showing the team that she's not just someone who is holding them back. When it comes to actual hand-to-hand combat without gear, just using improvisations that are not expensive but pretty cheap in comparison to what Wayne had, she's good with that. And training these kids to be able to do this, Nightwing, Batgirl, and Robin, I think was a really cool way of developing the Bat family as being a much stronger team than they were before. And it leads to a lot of cool, funny moments, some at the expense of Nightwing, but there are definitely moments where they do show the rest of the Bat family, like Robin and Batgirl, also having flaws within themselves because they've been so used to having all this technology around them. And Harley Quinn basically being the one to show them different path to doing things differently, I think was really cool at developing these characters, strengthening the bond they had as a team. I think it worked pretty well. It's just the tourists that I felt like were unnecessary and just put there at the last minute just for a joke. But overall, I think this storyline worked very well. And actually, the Ivy storyline, I found interesting. This is the first episode where I found both the Ivy and Harley storylines actually equally entertaining and funny and engaging. I like how in this episode Ivy is being put in the forefront just for like 45 seconds just to show off Lex Luthor's invention and try to amp him up. He's a character that's always full of himself, has sort of a self-complex issue, thinking that he's better than anyone and that everything should be focused on him. And so I could definitely see Lex Luthor doing this. This is not out of character. But what they do with Ivy and how she is getting into this conference call, including making connections with Steppenwolf and other villains, and being in touch with Talia al Ghul, going to a bunch of panels and trying to prove her worth to the villain community, and eventually topping Lex Luthor at his own game here, I found very entertaining. While I do think maybe the Harley Quinn story was a little bit more engaging, I found myself really invested with this storyline. I thought it was also pretty funny the way these villains are basically at this whole convention just showing off everything they got to each other. It's like a big dick measuring contest, except nobody's really mad at each other. They're just having a whole bunch of fun here. And the only joke that did not really get me was the Mark Zuckerberg one. I felt like that was a little bit too on the nose and too out there for me. But other than that, I think everything else about this storyline worked pretty fine for what it's supposed to be and led to a lot of good funny moments, especially with Clark being there, being a reporter. I feel like they're hinting towards something with him in this season. Then again, it could be just like a gag thing, like a lot of other stuff in the show. But I would love to see Clark Kent going to the moon, reporting on everything, but really, he's just trying to uncover what these villains have in store, like going on an undercover mission, you know? I think that Superman doing that would be actually pretty funny. And not just funny, but also just overall fun. It's something different. But then that would be like its own thing. I felt like that should be its own episode. It's just like a little gag or hint towards something like that, which I would be down for in my opinion. Overall, this is probably my second favorite episode, tying with the first one. Maybe this one's a little better. I do find it more entertaining. This is probably the most entertaining episode of this entire season so far. And overall, I had a really good time with it, and I would definitely recommend you guys go check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.